There are three ways to schedule with Music One. There's manual, interactive editing, which is how I originally designed it to work. That's an innovative algorithm, and only Music One does it that way. And then there's hybrid scheduling, which is a cross between Music One's way and the traditional scheduling algorithm. There's video about that on the M1 blog here. Just search the word hybrid, and I'll show you how that goes. Right now, I will show you how to set it for full automatic scheduling. This way, M1 is going to schedule the full day with no editing stops. If it has to, it will override some formatting rules. To make that less likely, use alternative categories. Then, when M1 comes to a slot where all the choices at the top of a card stack have formatting violations, the scheduler can select from another category to find a song that fits with no music flow rule problem. I use just 5 categories on this station, and I'm setting up an alternative category for each of them. Here I'm telling M1 that if it comes to a slot where all its primary goal song choices violate formatting rules, it can select a song from the 90s category. And you see each category can have up to 3 alternatives. So I'm saying here if the primary gold slot can't be filled with primary gold, then look to the 90s. If one can't be found there, then M1 can look to the edge category. Step 2 is to set rule priorities. That's under System Settings and on the Advanced tab. All of the rules must be beneath the line that says Major Breakable, and they should be in order, the most important rule at the top. Move the line Major Breakable Rules up to the top to the number 2 position. Then arrange your rules hierarchy. I want Same Song Previous Day in the top position. That's my most important rule, the last one that M1 would break. If it only had 2 songs to choose from, one violated an artist separation rule, the other scheduled close to the same time period on the previous day, then M1 would override the artist separation rule. Next, set the underplay percentage. Since the software is going to be doing all of the choosing whenever rule violations are encountered, there's a chance that some songs could have more restrictions and thus might get fewer spins than others in the category. I'd set this at 25% myself. M1 would then begin favoring the underplayed tracks in order to get their spin count up to match the others in the category. Almost ready to go. Load a new schedule and open the menu Rules Enforcement. We want the scheduling mode to be automatic. I set auto jump at 3. Click to Enabled Auto Search and Alternative Categories. Set Auto Dig at maybe 10 to 25%. This allows M1 to dig deeper down into the category if need be before it moves on to the alternative categories. I wouldn't set it much higher than the 10 to 25%. And I don't check the boxes about underplayed rule violations. For me, these are just not important. Put a check in the box next to every rule that you are using. I'm not using texture or mood myself, so I don't check any of those. So put a check in the box of the rules that are important that you're using, and then click Save as Default. You now can run schedule after schedule. There will be no stops for editing, and the consistency of your song rotations and spins are going to be almost as reliable as they are when you're doing interactive scheduling and making the manual fixes as the schedule is built. Scheduling goes very quickly, and even with a slow computer and a lot of categories, this should be finished in about 30 seconds. And now that this one is done, I'm going to change the screen display from single hour to full day, and then we can scroll down the day's schedule. I have a column to show me any violations, and I see there are none. M1 probably made a few category substitutions here and there, but the content and the flow of each hour is and will be always exactly as I want it to be.